But obviously, we're going to get started by going back to this past Friday night. Here we go. This is our play of the week.
And they deserve that, after going through all they've been through, coaching change, COVID.
Key medals, and we get third place in that tournament 2 days later.
As we played together, yeah.
The Rattlers punch the Hornets down 16-13.
The Marble Falls tournament was instrumental for these girls. They were able to get up and down the court.
I'm extremely proud of them, and I love that they've embraced me.
Welcome into Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, live from the San Marcos High School Rattler Broadcast Studio. It's where you've got to be on Monday nights to hear all things Rattler Athletics and see what's going on inside Rattler Nation. I'm your host, CJ Odom, and with me, as always, head football coach and San Marcos Athletic Director, Coach John Walsh. Coach, welcome back into Rattler Up.
It's good to be back at it.
It is a full-time season, and it is basketball day here at San Marcos Rattler Up. We're going to be talking with the boys, girls teams, talking all things hoops, and it is we talk about it a lot, but boy, you're in your winter season. You're a busy man.
Yeah, it's getting real busy now. Soccer's already started. The gyms are full. Yeah, we're all over the place.
I think it's great. People hear about the indoor football field, but I know that the fact that it gets quartered off is something that's probably lost for a lot of people. The fact that in that indoor facility, you can drop those curtains, drop batting cages. You can have 4 different sports groups running, playing, practicing in that stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. We had, it's a unique setup because it truly is. It's named, the Student Activity Center, the SAC, and it's utilized exactly like that. And we had Alice, superintendent, AD, and the board come a couple days ago and just did a tour of our facility. They passed the bond. They're trying to pass a bond,
right? And
that part of our indoor was really appealing to the superintendent because it speaks to a lot of students, not just soccer and football.
Right. Well, and we recently I've got 5th graders coming over next week to do some tours, and they're going to get to use the indoor field, so they're excited about that. It just drums up so much interest, does so much for so many groups, so we're excited about that. And in the winter, and then especially in the spring, is when that thing really starts getting utilized heavy. So.
And right now, if you go over there, you'll see color guard and cheer in there right now as we speak.
Yeah, and, cold days, this cold fronts come in. It's great to have that facility.
Oh yeah, we're fighting over it.
All right, well, this week on Rattler Up, we get caught up on the winter sports that are in season right now, and live in studio, we'll be joined by players from both the boys and girls basketball teams, as well as their head coaches. So we got a full slate here on Rattler Up. And Coach, before we get started, one thing, it's not official yet, but people are talking UIL alignment. Cutoff numbers were shown. I think that we're pretty solidly 6A from now on, right? We know that, but we want to kind of talk about where we may end up and what that might look like. Of course, as many people know, and you'll see on this graphic here that'll be on the screen in just a moment, there's your UIL alignment dating back to 2004, and San Marcos has never been in the same district twice, or at least not in a row. And so as you kind of look back at our history from 5A up to 6A, a lot of the same faces, but really always changing every 2 years. And so we're looking to see if perhaps in the 24 or 25 seasons, do we stay where we are? It tends to be kind of we're the northernmost point of a San Antonio district, or we're the southernmost point of an Austin district. What would be the benefits if we were able to stay in the same district and get 4 years out of the same conference?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of value to that. From now until the first Wednesday in February, when the alignment comes out, there's all kinds of speculation, and the biggest speculation right now is because Buda Johnson 6A, Drip 6A, New Braunfels with the new school should be going down to 5A. We're 6A, so we're right there in the middle where you can build a middle.
Because you've got Austin High and Aikens that are 6A.
So I think Austin High is going down now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to change. I foresee us, if I had to guess, I think we're staying south. Mm-hmm. But we could, I've seen it do crazy things before. I've seen it take San Angelo Central and make them go 6 hours to Amarillo before. So there's no telling where you end up.
Well, and I think folks that maybe only are familiar with high school sports through San Marcos maybe don't know some of the road trips that are just commonplace in 1A, 2A, 3A sports. I mean, there's districts where every district game is a 3-hour plus bus ride, and I know that you've experienced
I lived it,
that.
yeah. So my first 10 years in Brownwood, we were in the same district with Aledo and North Crowley, and they were all 2.5, 3 hours, and that was. So picture a basketball team every Tuesday and Friday night.
Right.
I mean, you're traveling.
Right, and especially you go those Tuesday away games for basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball can be brutal. I think about the way we just gear up for that Laredo trip.
Right.
Well, that's just district.
Well, I laugh that we complain around here about going to East Central.
Right, exactly. So that'll be coming in February, right? We'll officially
The
find
first
out.
week in February.
Okay, so we'll keep our eyes and keep you updated, of course, on Rattler Up as we look at the UIL alignment and find out where the Rattlers will be playing, who our district opponents will be in the 24, 25, 26 seasons. And, of course, we're going to continue here on Rattler Up with basketball as we're going to talk boys basketball as their season is in full swing and they've got district coming up. And so we're going to talk boys basketball. They're going to join us here in studio. So let's take a look at what the boys basketball team has been able to do so far this season, Coach. They sit at 11-4 on the season. They've won 7 of their last 8. They're actually riding a 3-game win streak with recent victories over LASAA, Lockhart, and Piper. They also have a district schedule right around the corner when they head to San Antonio to take on Clemens on January 12th. But, Coach, they've got a jam-packed Christmas season with 11 more games between now and the district start. So to talk about the season so far, we have members of the team with us here in studio, as well as their fearless leader, head coach Dan Miller. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight here on Rattler Up.
Oh, it's great to be here.
All right, well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, we've talked about what a big schedule and what a big arrangement that you've had so far. You've played 15. You got 11 more to go before district. And then you got a full 10-game slate for district. So at the 1/3 mark of so to speak of the season, what are your takes so far on the team going so far?
Yeah, so far so good. You know, we're making progress each day. You know, we have a lot of things that we want to get better at. Taking care of the ball is probably the biggest thing. But we had a great practice tonight that we feel great at. We're trying to get our chemistry and just enthusiasm up a little bit. And I think the guys are doing good with that because we're a new team. But overall, we're liking it. But we have a very good district. Like, I mean, our district, every team is double-digit wins. We have some teams that are 15-1, and so we just want to be playing our best basketball going into district play in January.
Awesome. Also, now you did, like you mentioned, you had a solid slate of seniors leave the team this last year, so a lot of new faces. Talk a little bit about how those new players have taken some of those leadership roles on the team so far.
Yeah, it was a great senior class. You know, we were blessed last year with those guys, and 3 of them are playing college basketball right now, including one tonight at Texas State, Caden Gums. But, you know, it starts with the returners that we had with Zaire right here and then Cash Good and Ori Williams. Those 3 had that experience. Ori brings that experience from football, playing in the playoffs last year in football too. So those 3 are bringing that experience, and they're sharing it with these new guys, and they're forming together a nice team. So I like the leadership that Zaire in particular has shown, and Cash is working on also.
Awesome. Well, let's talk to the players.
Yeah.
So why don't we start off and have you guys introduce yourselves. Let us know your names, your grade, what position you play, and just a little something about yourselves.
My name is Josiah Holman. I'm a junior, class of 2025. I play shooting guard, small forward. And one thing about me is that I moved in from Arizona.
Okay, awesome.
My name is Zaire Jolivet. I'm a senior, play shooting guard. And one thing about me is I'm an Army brat, so move around a lot.
Air Force brat. We got something in common.
My name is Javen Puentes. I'm a senior. I play power forward. And one thing about me is I love dogs.
There we go. Yeah. All right, I like that. Well, let's start with you then. I want to ask you kind of, like we talked about a third of the way through the season, big season, mid-season crunch coming up here over the Christmas break. What do you feel like has been the key to the team's success so far in the season early on?
Really just moving the ball, spacing out the floor, and defense, communication too. And limiting our turnovers on games too, so yeah.
Okay. Head on upstairs here. Talk to us about the practice routine. Coach said we had a real good practice today, but talk about in general, what are coaches doing? What are the practices looking like for this team to get you guys ready for games?
Just intense practices with lots of talk on defense, lots of energy, and just playing hard, going at each other.
All right. So we've talked about practice, right? And we talked about focus, but what do you feel like now moving forward is the thing that the team needs to focus on between now and district play?
I think the team that I think we need to focus on ball movement and ball protection, less turnovers. That's one thing that's killing us right now, and being more of a team and communicating on the floor.
Okay. Let me interject there, CJ, is, you know, watching them last year, and he said they're all gone, right? They're at Vanderbilt, they're at Texas State playing ball, and I've gotten to see them just once actually in San Antonio, but the style didn't change. And listening to these 3 guys talk, they're still talking about protecting the ball, ball movement, playing defense. Right. I saw a highlight on Holman where, you know, I think you dunked it, got back and took the charge, right? So I mean, nothing's changed, and that's what, when you watch if you walk through the gym while they're practicing, everything's intentional, and everything they're saying since I've met Dan haven't changed on their championship standards.
Well, we've talked so many times as a head coach about having the San Marcos way. You have a San Marcos way for the athletic program, and then of course you want to incorporate that and make sure every team has that.
Right.
Sounds like you're saying that's, Coach Miller, you've brought the San Marcos way to the high school basketball team. What would you describe the San Marcos way as being for boys basketball?
Well, before he answers, he brought his way and made the San Marcos way better.
Nice.
But
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that. But it's under Coach's leadership here in the athletic department. But really, with basketball, it's just about playing tough defense and playing together as a team. It's a pretty simple game, as they hear me say all the time. You know, share the ball, move the ball, be willing to dominate the effort plays, like take charges, dive on the floor for the ball, and don't care who gets the glory. And that's what these guys are doing. And we still need to do better with protecting the ball. You know, we know that. That's something we got to improve on. But they're doing good and getting better each day.
Awesome. So for all three of you, I'd like all three of you to take a shot at this. Just want tell everybody a little bit more, like if there's some other sports you're playing besides basketball or other things that you're involved with at San Marcos High School.
I just moved in, so I'm still learning a bit about the community, but I like it so far. It's going well.
Ron came in from Arizona, you said?
Yeah, yes, sir. Came in from Arizona.
High academics.
Very cool. Very good to hear. Awesome. What about you?
I mean, nothing really new. I don't play no other sports, and I was first into football, and then I got injured. So then my mom.
I've been trying to get him out since I moved.
Yeah, he has. He actually has. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been trying since I've been here.
But after that injury, my mom put me in basketball. She thought it was more safer, and after that, I just.
You've been focused on that. Well, good. And what about you?
Well, I just play basketball, and I might do track this year, but we'll see.
We'll see. We had time to figure that out, right? Awesome. Well, Coach, specifically looking at the next few weeks, as you mentioned, you got 11 games. Most of those taking place over the Christmas break between now and that January 12th start of district play. I'm going to talk to Coach Irvin about this as well. For you guys, you have that unique situation where that big Christmas break falls right in the middle of your season. So talk as a head coach, how do you keep the team focused? How do you keep the preparation alive and well when they fall out of that school routine and keep them eyes on the prize, so to speak?
And to add to that, do you like the 5-day you got to be away?
Yes, I do like that a lot. You know, what I find is we work extremely hard. You know, basketball is such a long season. So from October when we're in season all the way to that December 20th date, you're with each other 6 days a week and you're working so hard. I think that 5 days, and sometimes we give them an extra day in there to just be with their families, let their body recover a little bit. What I usually find is they come back, their legs are a little bit better, we're jumping a little bit better, we're healthier, and they're just ready to get back together with their team.
So UIL mandates 5 days, all gyms are closed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So what we want to do is we want them to have some good family time, you know, and enjoy Christmas with their family and the holidays. And then when we get back December 27th in the gym, just crank it up and be ready for our home tournament. We have our holiday tournament with some teams coming in here. We have to go play a St. Michael's team who may be one of the best teams in the state. You know, I think they're 14-0 at their place, which will be a good tune-up for us for district. And then just get ready for district play where it's going to be a battle every night.
Right, absolutely. Well, let's take a look then. We know that there's a couple of opportunities coming up to watch the boys play. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, like I said, we've got to get in and see San Marcos High School boys basketball this week. Tomorrow night, you can catch them in the Snake Pit, defending the home turf against Laredo LBJ. And Friday night, they make the trip southeast to Victoria to take on Victoria West. Tip-offs at 6:30 p.m. in both places. So, gentlemen, we want to give you an opportunity every time you visit us here on Rattler Up to give a shout-out. You're on live television now with a mic in your hand. So, who do you want to send some shout-outs back home?
I'd like to shout out my mom for letting me move. And I'd also like to shout out my dad.
We'll shout out Mom, too, then.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. All right, go ahead.
I want to shout out my mom and my aunt, and also my uncle, too.
Okay.
Shout out my family.
All right, so lots of family support. Really great to have the boys in season here and get to watch them. It's a lot of exciting times. Again, you got opportunities this week to check them out. You got opportunities over the Christmas break to check them out. And district starts January 12th. Make sure to be in that Snake Pit. It is a fun environment. You got to be there and cheer them on. So, guys, thanks for joining us on Rattler Up, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to head to break, but when we return, we will stay on the courts as we welcome in members of the girls basketball team and their head coach, Jermaine Irving. All that and more as we return. Keep it here on Rattler Up. All right, welcome back to Rattler Up. As always, broadcasting live from the amazing Rattler Broadcast Studio at San Marcos High School. And future high school students, if you're watching live or watching it archived, you can be part of this broadcast as well. Just sign up for classes in the audio-video department with graphic design, and you can be here making the magic happen in the studio, shining the lights, and making us look like at least $250,000.
Maybe.
100,000 at least, right? We don't give them a lot to work with, Coach.
No, they do us well.
All right, well,
they do us well.
We stay on the course this segment, and we talk to girls basketball now. As the girls we take a look at what they've accomplished so far this season. We know that they've had just as busy a time as the boys. We've got a graphic to show you their season up until now. We want to stay and take a look at what they've done. They're coming off a win against Medina Valley last Friday night, 81-46, and have just 4 games remaining in their pre-district season before the district schedule begins for them on January 5th. So it's just around the corner at home in the Snake Pit against New Braunfels. And so joining us in studio to talk about the season so far are members of the Lady Rattlers basketball team and their head coach, Jermaine Irvin. Coach, welcome into Rattler Up.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
All right, well, we're glad to have you guys, Coach. Let's get started with kind of your evaluation so far, right? You've had 16 games to evaluate the team. You got 4 more remaining until that district starts up on the 5th. So what have you seen so far, and how do you feel about the team midway through the season?
I feel real good about the progression that we're on. We kind of took a step back from last year and really kind of evaluated how we attacked the preseason and before we got to district, because it's such a long time. Last year I threw in there 3 tournaments. Let's try to get everything going real early. This year we did 2. We really looked for teams that kind of could complement or work against some of the styles that we have. So us playing and navigating this year has been really good for us in the progression of each girl as we went through it.
Now, this season you got a healthy mix of seniors, underclassmen. So talk to us about how leadership develops and how you felt about the mix of experience levels on your team for this season.
First of all, our point guard, Ezra Tobias, she's been with us since her freshman year. So she's a junior now. So she's really solidified that point guard position there for us. She knows how it's been on the playoff run. She knows how it was when we struggled last year. And she just kind of really gets us going. We had our 2 freshmen that are sophomores now, Azzy Fennell as well as Milena Perkins. They have made enormous steps from their freshman year to understanding the speed of the game now and be able to play multiple positions. And then we have our freshman Riley Good that's come in to help us at our guard position. And then Ezra's class has brought in most of the bulk of our players, Alicia Pearson, who is dynamic, and she's really electric in the open court. And then we got our 2 posts with Asia Gonzalez and then Brooklyn Harris.
It's good to see Bailey back too.
Oh, Bailey is a work in progress, but that progress is right on step. I think that bringing her back a little early last year really hurt us because she tweaked the knee, and we just didn't know what was going on with it, and then she tore the knee. So this year, she's really been working. Man, she's hit some big shots for us. She's working her body back into it, and just her knowledge of the game has really helped us. She's been able to give us minutes at almost every position but the post.
I've gotten to see them play more than the boys, and you are right. You kind of staggered by classes, but what I like about watching them is they're athletic. There's multiple girls that can handle the basketball, which is key in girls basketball, and you can tell they're playing together, and it's fun to watch, and they can get after it on defense. They're feisty, so and we knew it was coming. We knew young, everybody was young, and then so now that they're growing up and acting like grown-ups, and we got a shot.
Well, it makes it difficult for the opponents because they really can't key on one player. If they decide to really focus one way, then somebody else will just step up and make a shot or make a pass or be the leader on the court. And that's been something that seems to be a real key to success so far, right?
That's been really big for us because last year they would try to take Ezra out of the game and then double team Azzy, and then it just really bogged us down because, like you said, last year we didn't have a whole bunch of solid ball handlers. As soon as Bailey went down, the ball handling went down. So they would double her. Now it's hard to double because Azzy's went and worked on her ball handling immensely this summer. Ezra's really quick, really fast, and then you have Bailey that can handle the ball, and you have Riley. Milena's better, Alicia's better. So everybody on the team being able to handle the ball makes it really difficult for the opponent.
All right, well, let's meet the girls that are here joining us. So, girls, if you'll take the mic for a minute and just introduce yourself, what grade you're in, what position you play, and just a little something about yourself.
My name is Azariah. I am a sophomore, class of 2026, and I'm a guard. And something about myself is my mom is my basketball coach.
Awesome.
I'm Ezra. I'm a junior, class of 2025, and I'm a point guard. And something about me is I like art.
I'm Jordan, class of 2024. A small forward. Something I really like, is some Jesus.
All right. Well, let's start with down here. We'll start on the couch here and ask, talking this first part of the season, right? What do you feel like has been should have been and has been the focus for your team here in the first half of the season, getting ready for district play?
Definitely, I would say our communication has definitely been a big part, and our ball movement. We always want everyone to score. We're always passing the ball. We're always trying to get anyone in, and definitely everyone's able to come in and contribute something. So I definitely think that's a big part.
Awesome. So then kind of looking forward, similar question though, with 4 games to go, what do you feel like should be the focus these final few weeks getting ready for district play?
Well, obviously to win and really, really come together. We are together right now, but just for us to go head on and into district as strong as we can be.
Awesome. So then going up top here, so class of 24, right? You've seen the most of anybody really, right? Finishing out your senior year. So what has surprised you the most about the team this year compared to years past?
I would say definitely the energy. Over the years, it's definitely gone better and just more exciting to see. Like Coach Walsh said, the girls are feisty, and we're all feisty, so it's just a great thing to see.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to hear from each girl on this one. Thinking back, we've had you go to other seasons unless this is your first season, but what's just a really fun moment that's happened on the court, in the locker room, on a trip, but one of your favorite memories from the team so far this your experience with the team that you could share with our viewers?
I must definitely say the energy, and like when we're on the bus or in the locker room when we get hype and we just start dancing, it's really enjoyable.
I definitely say my favorite part is in games whenever we hit like a big shot or like someone gets a charge or someone gets a good defensive possession, everybody's locked in, everybody's talking, and the energy just goes up.
I would say the same thing that they said, but especially when we're having a good practice and then we get some jokes in, makes practice. Lift up the energy.
So Coach Miller, Coach Irvin, I asked Coach Miller about the Christmas break, right, and having that gap in the middle of your season. Now for you, it's more interesting because just back from it, we start districts. You got 4 games left. So same thing. Talk to us about what you do over the Christmas break to keep focus, to help as the routine gets swapped up, knowing that as soon as we get back, it's district time.
Last year, I really had to look at that. Last year, we struggled with the Christmas break. We did a holiday basketball tournament there, which was 3 days right after Christmas, and we lost the play. Number one in that time, she got hurt, and then I think as tournaments are supposed to make you come together and focus it in, I thought that was kind of like a breaking point for us a little bit. We became fragile after that because we kind of doubted ourselves, and then we went right into district. Whereas this year, I told them that we're going to do it a little bit different. We're not going to do the holiday tournament. They're going to get time to be with their families. They're going to have time to be with their friends and their loved ones. And then after the Christmas break, we'll hit it hard after that with a couple practices, and then we have a couple games that we can get into before the district. We tried to set it up a little differently. Mm-hmm. We just evaluated the season and our record, and we pinpointed a particular game in the holiday tournament we played in that really hurt us. So we didn't want to do that again. So we switched it up, and we went on the road. We took some advice from Coach Walsh. We went to Allen, and we played some big dogs and went down there and played some really good basketball. And that momentum has just kind of propelled us. We'll refresh, like the boys said. We'll come back with that energy to get ready for district. We got a real big one tomorrow night. We got McCullum. They're 17-0, really good team. So that's going to be a great challenge for us. This year we've been able to play without girls there. We were out Azzy for a while. She was out with a concussion. We didn't play with her it felt like forever. Bailey's she's worked in slowly. We were without Alicia a couple games, and we're going to be without Milena tomorrow night. So we're just really working on. And the greatest thing about it is they're like next girl up, let's go, and they have confidence in their teammates. So it's been. We're just going to navigate it just a little differently, but that holiday time needs to be with their family.
You know, it's good to hear, you know, from both head coaches because, you know, understanding your team, knowing how to pace the season, you know, and because every year is going to be different, and he could pace it differently next year. You know, it just depends, but it's refreshing for me as the AD to hear that it's intentional and we're scheduling to our girls or to our boys.
Well, I think that's probably something a lot of viewers at home maybe don't recognize is such a big key. I mean, yes, the district schedule by and large is handed to you. Even though you do have some say, I guess, in that, but that pre-district is what you make it. And we've talked with so many coaches in this show over these last 3 seasons about exactly what you're talking about there. You know, finding what matches your team, what works for yours doesn't work for somebody else's, but doing everything you can to make sure that that pre-district part of the schedule is getting you ready for what matters, which is those 10 district games. Yes, and it sounds like that's that strategy piece that you've been working with, and hopefully it pays off. And it looks like so far we're doing a great job on it.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, girls, we've got to schedule it. We talked a little bit about we've got McCullum coming up. We got that graphic here to let you know. Tomorrow night, your opportunity to head down to McCullum High School. Not a long drive. My mom lives right over there by you. I tell you, it's a short drive, easy drive. Get down there for 6:30 tip-off. Watch the Rattlers take on the McCullum Cowgirls. And that's a first time you can go support them. And then, of course, we'll talk later in the night for our upcoming games. Make sure you get in the snake pit and see these girls play. But, girls, as before, if you've been on the show before, you know you get time for shout-outs, right? Live TV, live microphone, and a chance for you to shout it out back to whoever you want to tell thank you. So who are you going to shout out for us here at Rattler Up?
I want to shout out my grandma and my mom for always supporting me.
I want to shout out my family and my best friend, Alicia.
I want to shout out Good and my mom and Coach Irvin.
All right. Well, girls, thank you so much for being with us on Rattler Up. Coach, thanks for joining us. We're excited about what you've done so far, and we're really excited about what's coming up, especially starting January 5th. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's the Lady Rattler basketball team. We're excited to have them in studio with us, and we're excited to just bring you basketball and all things Rattler Nation as we do every week here on Rattler Up. And that's going to do it this week on Rattler Up. We were so glad to get caught up with those teams, find out a little bit more about UIL alignments. Now, before we go, we want to take a look at some upcoming chances that you have to catch the Rattlers in action. A busy week ahead, Coach. As you see there, basketball games Tuesday, Friday, home and away. You got soccer now in session. So tomorrow night, you can go see the girls soccer take on Hayes at their place. Swimming going on Wednesday on the 13th. Soccer in session at John F. Kennedy. We got girls soccer on the 15th at Johnson. So between basketball, soccer, swimming, wrestling, we got plenty of opportunities for you to go see the Rattlers.
So on Sundays, Josh sends me this graphic. He goes through our schedule and sends it to me, and of course it just keeps growing. And come January, you're going to add baseball and softball to it. Right. So it gets
3-page event here on Rattler.
It gets real busy, but it's a good kind of busy.
Yeah, it's great, and any opportunity you can come to watch, I can't think of a single sport where it's not a lot of fun to come watch.
No doubt.
It's so good to see the Rattlers in action and watch the community come and support the team. Well, Coach, I mentioned the swim team in action on Wednesday night. They're starting their season out, beginning their district drive. And we also know that in that last bond package, one of the things we were fortunate enough to be delivered to us by those faithful voters was our natatorium. So can you give us a little bit of an update on the natatorium, the plans for it, and what we can expect to see here on the San Marcos High School campus very soon?
Yeah, I would love to. You know, when the bond got passed, natatorium, building a natatorium or aquatics in general is not my expertise. So it's been really fun going from step one to where the renderings are right now of the natatorium. And I almost sent you a graphic of the natatorium to put on here, but chose not to. Better show the school board first, right?
Right.
So didn't do that. But man, it's an incredible facility. The voters are giving our students and our community a heck of a facility to utilize, and it's up to us to make sure we have great programs and great plans for it, and we're already working in those directions. But the natatorium is going to be placed by Old Bastrop Road next to the CTE building, bus loop. Lots of area there, and it's getting placed to where out back there can be expansion if we need it.
Nice.
And not knowing anything about natatoriums, I had to go, we had to drive, Bernie Sandoval.
You've seen every good natatorium in a 300-mile radius.
Between Bernie and I, we've seen quite a bit from Austin, Houston, up to Round Rock, and there's some nice facilities around here, but we're surely going to have in Central Texas one of the best facilities around.
Well, and it's like you mentioned, it's a school thing, it's a community thing. Right. There are so many ways and that's the thing as we talk to other districts and other natatoriums, the way the community gets involved, the way the little ones get involved. And this is a citywide
correct
building for us that we're excited to be able to share with the community.
And we've been very careful in our meetings on making sure, that just like how shallow we can go to make sure we can get our 3rd grades and our 4th grade classes in there during the day. If you're going to go on a field trip to the snake farm, we can put you in a field trip to the natatorium. And
right.
So we've been really, really intentional on making it, one, for our aquatic sports, but then two, as we're building, I'm thinking about our little Rattlers, because it's too nice of a facility to not utilize from K through 12.
Right. So what does a ballpark, not hold you to it, opening day? When do we anticipate being
2
in there?
years.
Okay.
It'll be a 2-year project.
Right. Well, we're excited. Well, as we wrap up here, Coach, huge win last night for the Cowboys, getting past the Eagles 33-13. Does that dispel they're not for real, they're only beating weak teams? Are the Cowboys for real now?
Well, you and I are Cowboy fans, so we're falling for it regardless, right?
Yeah.
We can say what we want to, but no, they do look legit. I mean, they look good on both sides of the ball. Dak looks efficient. And all the way to their kicker kicking a 61-yarder, a 54-yarder, and a 49. I mean, they just look like they got it all right now.
But in an honest moment, up 33-13, it was 2-minute warning in the 4th before I finally relaxed and said, okay, we got this. Is that just the conditioning of a Cowboys fan?
We have no choice.
We don't have a choice. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. As always, we want to thank Jack and Josh for running the audiovisual department here at San Marcos High School and this Rattler broadcast studio that brings us here live with you every week on Monday nights. And, of course, thanks to the amazing student directors that get to be a part of this by choosing these classes, bringing here on their off time, supporting us, putting this show together to support Rattler Nation. Thanks for all they do. We'll be back again next week. For Coach Walsh, I'm CJ Odom. Thanks for watching Rattler Up.